Yeah, it is. It is. We've had some fantastic racing, the All-Star Mile last week, and we've got 5 other Group 1s, and we've got another 4 Group 1s this weekend. And it just gets more and more exciting as we start to head into the championships shortly.
Let's kick off, mate, with tonight's race at Moonee Valley, the William Reid, weight for age, 1,200 metres, and having a look at the Bet365 market. It's an interesting market because you've got Masked Crusader that's had some backing at a big price with Bet365 now into $26. King of Sparta at 10, A Case of You at 16. It's been easy. In the Congo at $6, Front Page at 19, Jigsaw $6.50, Bella Nipotina solid enough at $8.50, Rockin' Horse at $31, September Run looking to defend her title here tonight at $19 in the William Reid, Imperatrice $3.40, Chain of Lightning at $21, and Babylon Berlin, the New Zealand mares, had a little bit of support into $13. How do you read this year's William Reid?
Yeah, interesting race. Won by Masked Crusaders, won it before. Sunlight, Black Caviar's won the race before. And we backed September Run to win it around 20-1 last year. The last 11 years, 6 have won third up, 3 have won second up. That's the usual profile. 7 out of the 11 won off a 13-day break, which is usually coming off a Newmarket run. It's probably the most interesting stat out of this race, Gareth. Every single winner in the last 11 years has come off a top 3 finish at a Group 1 at its prior start. There's only one horse this year that ticks that box, and that's Imperatrice. She's won 12 from 17 in New Zealand, including 4 Group 1s. We saw her here in Sydney. She ran second, beaten ahead by Artorias last start at the Canterbury Stakes. She mapped really nicely because there's pretty good speed, the Front Page and in the Congo pushing forward. And you sort of got Babylon Berlin, Imperatrice, the 2 Kiwis, and Jigsaw that all sort of settle forward of midfield. So I do think Imperatrice is the one to beat. I think the big danger is Bella Nipotina. We spoke about her a fair bit last prep, Gareth. She was 21 the Moya. We had her race sort of 3 wide, 4 wide, no cover throughout, and got beat ahead. Then she absolutely bolted in to win the Manikato by 5 lengths. She was really good first up in the Lightning, and then I think probably that track at Flemington, the Newmarket, was just too hard for her. I like the fact that there's just been a little bit of rain around Moonee Valley. It's a soft 5 at the moment. I think she can really bounce back with given the track, and I think she's the key danger to Imperatrice, and probably the roughie I think is the September Run who won this race last year at around 20-1. Nash has slowed down interestingly for this ride. Gareth is only ride in Melbourne for the night. I think she's probably the bolter to bring a surprise, but Imperatrice on top with Bella Nipotina the key danger.
So Imperatrice around 370, Bella Nipotina you can get 850 with Bet365, and September Run is a tick over $21 there with Bet365 in fact $19 now with Bet365 for the William Reid. I agree with you there. I think Bella Nipotina is a big chance when you have a look at her record there at Moonee Valley, especially last spring. So $8.50 will do me there in the William Reid. What about tomorrow at Flemington? We've got the Australian Cup, which is race number 7 on the program. A lot of these horses are backing up from last week, whether they competed in Sydney or they're at the Valley in the All-Star Mile. We've got Cascadian, that is the favourite at the moment, around $3.50 with Bet365. Regal Power $71, Nonconformist $8, Emissary $13, Smoke and Romans won a Group 1, I think it was the Turnbull or the Maccabi Diva over the 2,000 metres last spring. Gets the blinkers back on at Flemington, so at $26. Numerian at $16. Right You Are, $6. He's a Shock at $23, Pounding at $19. Luna Flare at $34. Steinem, Kira Ma pointed out that out of his 3 runners that she might be the best of them. At $11 she is with Harry Coffey aboard. Bankmore at $16. Virtuous Circle, the other 3-year-old, at $21, and big prices for the rest of the field there. Campanessa at $26 is given a small chance as well. She was second behind Prowness the other day in New Zealand at Group 1 level. So what do you make of this year's Australian Cup? I think it's a difficult race this year.
Yeah, I think you're right. It is a difficult race. It's interesting, like you say, there's quite a few horses sort of backing up. Off the 7-day backup, you've got Cascadian backing up off the All-Star Mile, off the Randwick, Pounding off the All-Star Mile, and Bankmore off the Alistair Clark. 11 of the last 12 winners have come off a 14-day break. Only one has managed to come off a 7-day break to win the race. There's only sort of an average speed here on my map. It's quite slow. You've got sort of Numerian, Smoking Romans, Right You Are, Steinem will push forward, Bank More, Patroness sort of forward of midfield. A lot of them get a fair way back, so it'll be interesting because it could be quite muddling, and that might not suit potentially some horses like Cascadian and like who get quite a long way back. I've sort of nailed on 2 or 3 that I'm keen on here. I think Steinem won the Peter Young in prep to this. She's a really, really handy mare. She was Group 1 placed in the spring in WA and is certainly well up to this. Nonconformist, I think, just taking on face value what we saw first up, it was just a really impressive win to win the Blamey by 2.1 lengths, and that was a whole lot of horses that were really wound up trying to get into the All-Star Mile, and Nonconformist, who's probably more of a 2,000 metre, 2,400 metre horse, just absolutely blew them away, and plus 6.3 for the last 800, which is the quickest out of 97 runners on the day. So that horse is just absolutely flying. The other one I thought that was tough to line up, it was just well over the odds, was Campionessa at sort of $26 plus. As a recent Group 1 second at Tirapa to Sharp and Smart, who was a Spring Champion Stakes winner and is a very, very good horse and a real winner, won the Derby over there. Mark Walker's just won plenty of Group 1s over here, and so has Opie Bosson. And I thought, in what, as you say, is a pretty wide open affair. I thought those 3 just looked a really good price. When you sort of got the likes of Cascadian might get a fair way back on a muddling tempo, and other horses like Right You Are that are in the market, but for mine, just they've still got to prove themselves at this level, obviously.
So Steinem's around $11, bet 365. Nonconformist, I agree with you there at $8, and Campionessa, as you just pointed out, she's got some good form around her, and I think Tiaka Racing were disappointed that she didn't gain a start initially. She's at $26. What do you make of a horse like He's a Shocker at 23 and Smoking Romans, who won the Turnbull last spring at Flemington Weight for Age over the 2,000 metres at $26? Do you give those 2 horses a chance at a price?
Yeah, Smoking Romans has been okay in his 2 runs. I thought, he did win the Turnbull, but in the last prep, he won I think the Naturalism in the Turnbull. The Turnbull win, they ran 15 lengths below par for the first section, so he had a real birthday in that race. The map does suggest that he might get similar, so I can't discount him from being able to kick off that slow pace. But whether he's going quite as well as he was last prep is a slight question mark. He's a Shocker. Yeah, he's an interesting one. He sort of he jumped very quickly from running at sort of open handicap and Group 3 level, and all of a sudden was thrown in the McKinnon, he was very close to sort of the likes of Zaki and Moonga. He's only had 1 run in the Blamey. He was fairly well beaten, but this is a race where horses can sort of jump out of the ground, and I think with a really slow pace, there's quite a few horses here who could end up in quite a bunch finish. I think even a horse like Numerian, if there's any sort of dampness about, he's got very strong form as well. So I think it's a pretty open affair, and it's sort of a race where it's pretty hard to tip. If someone likes something, it's pretty hard to talk them out of it.
All right, then let's have a look at the Group 1s in Sydney. The Vinery Stud Stakes, first of all, and Prowess is at $270, Fireburn at $8, Pavitra at $320, Soul Choice at $13, Pia Rosser at $15 with Bet365, Cool Diet $15, and then we go down to some big prices for some other fillies there in the Vinery Stud Stakes. I guess it's Weather Watch a little bit at Rosehill as well, but if you're keen on Campionessa here in the Australian Cup, you have to be pretty bullish on Prowess, surely, in the Vinery Stud Stakes.
Yeah, no, look, Prowess looks a pretty impressive filly. Roger James, known well for quite a long time. He's come and rated a lot of good races in Australia, and he's often done it with the fillies and mares. She ran third, beaten a long neck in a Group 1 mile in Riccarton, New Zealand, and since then has won 4 in a row, including 2 at Group 2 level, and pretty dominant wins as well. A 5-length win at Group 2 level over 2,000 metres at Tirapa. So she comes with really strong form. Her key danger is absolutely Pavitra, around second in the weight for Lamb, the Oaks in the spring. Just absolutely bolted in to win the Kindler Grange Classic by 4.3 lengths last start. And I think what was really impressive about that win was she was on speed, and they ran 7.7 lengths above par for the first half of the race. Most of the other horses that were sort of in the top 4 in that race just tailed off, albeit sort of 10 lengths. So the fact that she was able to not only tough it out and win, but just absolutely bolt and makes her a very strong chance. It's sort of the last 11 years I haven't seen a Kiwi winner, so it's been a while since a filly's been able to come over here and win. For that reason, I'm leaning towards Pavitra, Gareth. I think obviously Pavitra and Prowess are the 2 to beat, but I just think that performance was so dominant, winning, and just the sectionals, her ability to do it, despite doing all the tough work up front where all the other horses on speed just absolutely capitulated, was just really strong. And I just have to side with Pavitra here as the one to beat.
So we're at 320 for the Freedmans there, Pavitra and the Vinery Stakes. What about the Tancred? We've got Gold Trip at 420, the Melbourne Cup champ. This is a 2,400 metre weight for age Group 1 at Rosehill tomorrow. Knight's Order at $9, Val and Declare at 11. Arapaho, that was an impressive winner in the Canberra Cups, had good backing at $11. Geez, Kira was bullish about Explosive Jack at a price. You get $23.550 for him with Bet365. Sir Lucan, $12. Cleveland's an interesting runner for Joseph O'Brien at $6.50. King Frankel at $13. And then Montefiore down the bottom at $4.60. How do you read this year's Tancred, mate?
Yeah, look, I mean, this is a race that is, usually won by a really good horse. We've had, horses like Sir Dragonet, Very Elegant, Avilius, Deferment Hartnell, Solitude Managar win. So it's always really won by a good horse. And profiling it over the last 11 years, probably the most notable thing, it's really hard fit on paces with a proven Group 1 staying ability at 2,400 metres plus. They really come to the fore in this race. Interestingly, every winner in the past 11 years has come out of either the Randwick or the Australian Cup. Obviously, this year the Australian Cup falls on the same day, so we've only got the Randwick there, and 5 of the last 9 wins. Interestingly, were leading on the turn, and no winner was worse than 7th on the turn. So it's not a race where they sort of come from a mile back. There's quite a strong tempo though in this race. We've got sort of Sir Luke and the Knight's Order setting a tempo. Then you've got the likes of Bow and Declare, King Frank with Saracen Knight, Cleveland, and Stockman likely to push forward. And Gold Trip shouldn't be too far back. I've narrowed it down to 2. I think Cleveland is an interesting runner. European stayer trained by Joseph O'Brien. He's won plenty here. He's won over 3,700 metres before. He's run second at Group 3 level, beaten the neck over 2,400. I just think the imports have proven a class above our stayers for some time. We backed the import that won the round last week and just absolutely destroyed them.
Yep, Dubai Honour.
So I think Dubai Honour, so it's very difficult. They don't come here for a holiday. They're here to win, and I think you've got to respect Joseph O'Brien's decision to come here, and he'll likely go to the Sydney Cup as well. But I think Cleveland, we've got to mark highly. And I thought that the other key danger was just Gold Trip, just a Melbourne Cup winner, beaten ahead in the Caulfield Cup. He was a really slashing first up run at Group 2 level, beaten half a length. And second up, Dubai Honour, it makes them all look silly, but the track might have been a bit too firm for him last start. I like him on the quick backup. He did really well off the Cox Plate and a Melbourne Cup off the quick backup, and a softer track at Rosehill. Is likely to rain both today and tomorrow in Sydney. Up to 2,400 metres is ideal here. So, I'm quite bullish on backing both Cleveland and Gold Trip, and I think we'll find the winner.
Yeah, love it. Cleveland around $6.50 and Gold Trip around $4.50. It is becoming pretty easy these days when these imports arrive in Sydney. You don't need to do the form. You just keep on backing them. Can't wait for the championships, with Dubai Honour taking on Animo. That should be an absolute beauty in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, that's going to be an absolute cracker. That's going to be one of the best races we've seen in a long time, I think.
Always a pleasure, Dino. Enjoy this weekend, and we'll catch up with you next week, of course, on the eve of the opening day of the championships in Sydney there at Royal Randwick.
Thanks, Gareth. Sounds great. And another great racing weekend to get stuck into.
And Dino, before we let you go, all you need to do is head to Winning Edge Investments, go to the membership section of the homepage, type in SEN, and you get a 50% discount for the rest of your life with Winning Edge Investments if you type in SEN. So, as I keep on saying every week, that's the best winner that you can back all week.
Yeah, that's right. We've that's exclusive to SEN listeners, and the team have let me know they've been getting really, really great feedback from those who've joined and loving the services. We've got plenty of services that are in really hot form. So the people who've been taking advantage of that have been very happy.
Love your work, Dino. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend.
Cheers, mate.
There's Dean Evans from Winning Edge Investments. Let's take the news.